Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at part 2 of the Zealots of the Second Temple period. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Moving right along. Mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Our first question is from Gerard. He asked, what did the Zealots expect from the Messiah? Gerard, good question. The Zealots believed that God would send them a Messiah who would expel the Romans from Palestine and restore the kingdom of God to the chosen people. Our next question is from Kylie. She asks, how did the Essenes differ in their expectations of the Messiah? Kylie, the Essenes also looked forward to the coming of the Messiah. However, they were preoccupied with a heavenly Messiah who would bring a heavenly kingdom. Now we have a question from Belinda. She wants to know if Judas was a zealot. Belinda, the name Judith the Zealot, or Judas Zealotes, is mentioned in the Epistle of the Apostles, and in Latin this is known as the Epistola Apostolorum. This was written in the 2nd century of the Common Era. Judas is usually identified with the Apostle Simon the Zealot, with whom he shares a surname. Pablo brings up an interesting question. He asked, why was Simon called a zealot? Pablo, in this case, zealot is a mistranslation. Within the context of the Gospels, zealot means religious or zealous. It is also interesting to point out that the zealot movement did not exist until 30 to 40 years after the events of the Gospels. Moving right along, Judy brings up an interesting question. She wants to know if Jesus was an Essene. Judy, unfortunately, we just don't know. However, many scholars feel that he was at least influenced by them. Some scholars argue that the Qumran community were more likely Sadducean and not Essene. This is due to the fact that their legal positions retain a link with Sadducean tradition. Now we have a question from Kate. She wants to know, since Josephus' name is often tossed around in the scholar community, how much can we actually take from his writings? Kate, many of us believe that Josephus is both biased and unreliable. Frankly, I believe that he was nothing more than a shill for the Flavian dynasty. Let's press on. This question is from Ken. He wants to know if Judas Iscariot was a member of the Sicarii. Ken, good question. Judas' epithet, Iscariot, most likely means that he came from the village of Kerioth. Do keep in mind that many other possibilities have been suggested. We still have time for a couple more questions. Here's a good one from Luca. He asks, how dangerous were the Sicarii? Luca, the Sicarii were a splinter group of the Jewish Zealots. Many historians regard them as one of the earliest assassination units. They predate the Islamic Hashashin and the Japanese ninja by centuries, since they hid their dagger within their cloak, hence our expression cloak and dagger. In Latin America, there is a derived Spanish term sicario. This term is used to describe a hitman. Now we have a question from Lonnie. He asks, what was the symbol of the Sicarii? Lonnie, the Sicarii are usually associated with a knife called a sikai, or a small dagger. This design of knife most likely originated with the Illyrians and is known as the sika. Typically, it is designed to be a long knife or a short sword. The sika was also the popular choice of both the Thracians and the Dacians. During the early days of the Roman Republic, the sicarius was standard issue for the legions. In gladiatorial events, the sicarius was wielded by the Thracians. Our last question for today is from Selena. She asks, weren't the Zealots also identified by another name? Yes, Selena, according to Josephus, they were called the Fourth Sect. He states that the Zealots were founded by Judas of Galilee and Zadok the Pharisee. This brings us to the end of part 2 of the Zealots of the Second Temple period. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. Just a reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. For your convenience, we have also posted our email address and Instagram information. We enjoy hearing from our subscribers. Don't hesitate to contact us with any questions or comments you may have. If you haven't subscribed to Traveler's Tales, please do. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Traveler's Tales will return with The Maccabees, the Hammer of God. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.